Hi, this is Michelle in the Children's Department at Ida Public Library for school-age stories. This week we're going to read a somewhat nonfiction book called Over and Under the Snow by Kate Messner. It's one of my favorite books. The illustrations are by Christopher Silas Neal. Over the snow I glide, into woods frosted fresh and white. Over the snow, a flash of fur. A red squirrel disappears down a crack. Where did it go? Under the snow, Dad says. Under the snow? Under the snow is a whole secret kingdom where the smallest forest animals stay safe and warm. You're skiing over them now. So, yes, there's a space between the ground and the snow, sometimes during the winter. Over the snow I glide, past beech trees rattling leftover leaves and strong silent pines that stretch to the sky. On a high branch, a great horned owl keeps watch. Under the snow, a tiny shrew dodges columns of ice. It follows a cool tunnel along the moss out of sight. So protected from that owl, right? Because that owl is going to want to eat that shrew. But you see there's kind of a space there? Look, Dad says, tracks. Tracks always tell a story. Over the snow, a deer has crossed our path. Deep hoof prints punch through the crust up the hill under a tree. An oval of melted snow tells the story of a good night's sleep. Under the snow, deer mice doze. They cuddle up against the cold in a nest of feathers and fur. So there's the deer tracks, and there's where the mice are sleeping. Over the snow, I climb, digging in my edges so I don't slide back down. Under the snow, voles scratch through slippery tunnels, searching for morsels from summer feasts. Over the snow, I swoosh, down, down, faster, faster, down, faster, faster, whoops! I have never been skiing, but if you have, you can imagine that it can be a fun and somewhat risky, slippery endeavor. Under the snow, a snowshoe hare watches from a shelter of spruce, almost invisible. She smooths her coat, a coat of winter white fur. Can you see the winter hair there? You know, under trees, sometimes there's not much snow to start with because the tree protects the ground a little bit. And then it's easy for the rabbits to get under the snow. Over the snow I glide, past reeds where tadpoles play in the springtime. Under the snow, fat bullfrogs snooze. They dream of sun-warm days back when they had tails. So they're not only under the snow, they're under the water. What's going on underground? Over the snow, I stand and stare. Little mountains in the marsh. Under the snow, beavers gnaw on aspen bark, settled in for supper. Can they hear my tummy rumbling too? Over the snow, stop! A sound. We stand like statues carved in ice till a bushy-tailed fox steps from a thicket. Tips his ear to the ground, listens, listens, listens still, and leaps out onto the snow after an invisible dinner. His paws scratch away to find the mouse he heard scritch, scritch, scratching along underneath the snow. Do you see the mouse? Whoopsie. But the fox could hear that mouse. Dinner. Over the snow I glide, a full moon lights my path to supper. Under the snow, a chipmunk wakes for a meal. Bedroom, kitchen, hallway, his house is under my feet. Over the snow, I climb one last hill. Bonfire smoke rises, warm hands, hot cocoa, hot dogs sizzling on pointed sticks. Under the snow, a black bear is snoring, still full of October, blueberries, and trout. That's a pretty big pile of snow. Over the snow, the fire crackles and sparks shoot up to the sky. I lick sticky marshmallow from my lips and lean back with heavy eyes. Shadows dance in the flames. Under the snow, a queen bumblebee drowses away December all alone. She'll rule a new colony in the spring. It's kind of right where my fingers are here. Over the snow, I glide home on tired legs. Clouds whisper down feathery soft flakes. Under the covers, I snuggle deep and drift into dreams. Of cuddling deer mice and slumbering frogs, hungry beavers and tunneling voles, drowsy bears and busy squirrels, and the secret kingdom under the snow. There really is a secret kingdom under the snow. Scientists call it the Subnivian Zone. It's a network of small, open spaces and tunnels between the snowpack and the ground. It's created when heat from the ground melts some of the snow next to it and leaves a layer of air just above the dirt and fallen leaves. Many animals depend on this Subnivian Zone to survive in the winter. For one thing, the snow acts like the insulation in our houses and keeps the Subnivian Zone close to 32 degrees Fahrenheit, even when the air is much colder outside. Small rodents like mice, voles, and moles travel under the snow because it helps keep them safe from predators, animals like hawks that would like to eat them, and the snow makes them easy to be seen. Some predators get tricky, though. Weasels have skinny bodies and can squeeze into tunnels in search of prey. Red foxes, like the one in this story, have fantastic hearing. They listen carefully for noises under the snow and can figure out just when and where to pounce to collapse the tunnel and trap a mouse for a meal. If you go cross-country skiing or snowshoeing in the woods, you might see tracks in the snow that lead to tree trunks or crevices and then just disappear. Look carefully. Those tracks probably tell the story of an animal from the Subnivian Zone, that secret kingdom under the snow. Now, animals you meet in this book do really eat, sleep, hide, and play over and under the winter snow. First, the red squirrel. There's our red squirrel. Red squirrels not only travel and hide under the snow, but also store food underground. They hide seeds and nuts in holes or under rocks and use their fantastic sense of smell to find them later when they're hungry. Shrews. Shrews are little animals that, like mice, that sometimes become meals for great horned owls and other predators. So Subnivian tunnels provide important shelter. White-tailed deer. You may have seen a white-tailed deer before. They like to sleep under coniferous trees, evergreens with cones. They provide shelter on winter nights. When they curl up to sleep, some of the snow underneath them melts, making deer beds easy to spot in the woods. Deer mice, totally different from deer, make nests out of grasses, leaves, and other bits of plants and line them with soft moss, fur, and feathers. Mice often sleep huddled together in winter to conserve heat. Voles look a lot like fat mice, but with shorter tails and smaller ears and eyes. Like mice and shrews, voles forage for food under the snow, searching for seeds, bark, roots, and insects. Snowshoe hares. I actually don't know that we have any snowshoe hares here. I'm not positive. It'd be a good question for the Conservation District or maybe Ida's Explorers. Snowshoe hares are famous for their seasonal color change. In the summer, these hares have a coat that's reddish brown or gray, but in the winter, they shed that hair and replace it with white hair to blend in with the snow. That makes it much easier for the snowshoe hare to hide from predators. Bullfrogs. Bullfrogs hibernate. Means they sleep in the winter. They're buried in the mud at the bottom of ponds and marshes in the wintertime. Did you know that you can tell the difference between a male bullfrog and a female bullfrog by the size of his tympanum? That's a fancy word for ear. On a male bullfrog, the ear is about twice the size of the eye. So their ear is like 2 times bigger than their eye. While a female bullfrog's ear is about the same size as her eye. And I can't see the ears here, so I don't know. Beavers. Beavers do not hibernate in the winter, but they're less active, so they don't need as much food. Whole families spend the coldest months huddled together inside their frozen lodges. Before winter sets in, beavers pile branches and twigs at the bottom of the pond, not far from the entrance. That serves as their winter food supply, and they'll dive down onto the ice when it's time to eat. Red foxes. Red foxes often eat small mammals like mice, voles, and shrews, but finding these animals can be challenging in the winter. The red fox has excellent sense of hearing, though, and will actually listen for the sounds of animals like mice under the snow. When a fox hears a mouse, it will pounce, often with all 4 feet in one spot, to collapse the snow and trap the mouse underneath. Then it will dig until it finds its dinner. Chipmunks. Chipmunks dig, I'm sure you've seen a chipmunk, right? Chipmunks dig burrows in the earth and live there under the snow in the winter. A chipmunk's home often has many different rooms or chambers, one for sleeping, one for storing food, several tunnels for exiting and entering the burrow. Black bears. Well, I have seen I have not seen them, but my neighbors have seen a black bear in the area before. They sleep most of the winter. Before they go to sleep, they gorge themselves on food like fish and berries, so they'll have enough energy to last until the spring. Their dens might be in hollowed out trees, under logs or rocks, or in caves. Bumblebees don't survive all winter in cold climates. In fact, males and worker bees die in the fall, leaving only the fertilized queen bee alive. The queen bumblebees hibernate in the soil under a layer of leaves. They can even produce their own antifreeze to keep from freezing if temperatures drop too low. When the queen emerges in spring, she'll find a cool, dark place to nest, sometimes an old mouse den, and lay her eggs to start a new colony. So that is the end, all of Over and Under the Snow. I've also posted a crossword puzzle for Over and Under the Snow. It's all the animals that I just talked to you about. If you need some help, you can always ask me, but see if you can figure it out. It is downloadable on the Google Drive, something that maybe if you're not real familiar with Google, when you download it, it goes into your downloads folder. So it doesn't just pop up right away. Then you got to go into the downloads folder and open it up. So that's just a tip for moms or dads or grandparents, who's ever playing this video. All right. See you in a couple weeks. Bye.